It's a new month. Let's hit that monthly reset button. I'm already a day behind, so let's jump right in. This is my complete life operating system on Notion, and we're going to start today here in my personal dashboard. So I'm going to click into that, close off this menu, and I have done a full review on my current planning system, but we're going to scroll down to this special reflection cycle page that I have within my system. In this reflection cycle page, you'll see that I have yearly, quarterly, monthly, and weekly reviews. So today we're going to be adding a monthly review. So I'm just going to click new page here under monthly, and I label it starting with the year and then M2 for the second month. And this is going to be a February review. Okay, let's click in there. I'm going to make this a full page and widen that out. So I'm going to click the monthly review template and just give it a second there. It's going to generate my monthly template. Here's my colorful monthly review template, and I'm going to start off by going through my photos for the last month and collecting a little collage of photos that are emblematic of what I've done this month. I do this on Canva, which is a free graphic design software, and I am going to search for collage. Here you have some options for a collage. I like it to be horizontal, so let me find one of those. Let's go with this one. Hit customize, and then I'm gonna import in the photos from this month. I've pulled in some pictures from my camera roll. So my son and I went on a big road trip this month. I also have been working on my capsule wardrobe for my upcoming trip to Japan. My dog Darwin had surgery this month, so I'm going to move that up there. And then he had a lot of time to rest. I've been pretty stressed this month at work, and I can tell because I have quite a bit of photos from work. And usually my photos focus around my son or my husband or my dogs, but the fact that two of them are making it into this collage says something about how work has been going. So this is me sad. We had our little road trip here, but I am looking forward to this coming month. So I'm going to copy this collage here and bring it in to my Notion template, and I'm bringing that right there. My favorite memory by far was the manga road trip through Virginia. We went to different bookstores while my son was picking up some hard to find manga. Today I am doing full sugar Boylan's black cherry soda, throwback to my childhood back in Brooklyn. That's my month in review through photos, monthly checklist, and this is really the meat of my monthly reset. I've divided this checklist into 3 sections, starting with general life maintenance. I'm going to walk through the house and do some monthly maintenance.
파란 하늘에 핑크빛 구름 네 손에 나에게 줄 chocolate I'm feeling so good 눈에 보이는 모든 게 예뻐 You already made my day 다가와서 꽉 안아줄 때 충전되는 이 느낌 너와 함께라면 어디든 좋아
Spin.
지금 이대로면 멈춰도 좋아 뚜렷한 기억 처음 손잡은 그날 누구 건지 모를 promise when we'll never let go 헤어지기가 아쉬운 날의 듯 Oh, you're my sunny day 손을 잡아 너의 주머니에 넣는 나를 바라봐
Now that I've gotten my steps in, let's head over to my monthly budget. So let's use that and head over to You Need a Budget. You Need a Budget is a personal finance tool that speaks to my nerd soul. It could be a little overwhelming or intimidating at first because it uses a zero-based budget to proactively plan for only the money that you have, and it forces me to work a little bit differently than I have in the past, because when I used to do a budget, I would do it before I received my paycheck, and now I have a general idea of where my paycheck is going to go, but I don't actually plan out what I'm going to do with every dollar until I actually get it into my bank account. You'll see here at the very top, it says that I have just under $10,000 ready to assign. That is some of the incoming funds that I've received over the past few days. And I have these categories, so let me collapse them down. I have an essentials category, and I get paid twice a month on the 1st and the 15th. So I like to split up my essentials based on what needs to be paid between the 1st and the 15th, and then what needs to be paid between the 15th and the end of the month. I also have 2 different sections for monthly subscriptions, and I have a section for annual subscriptions, since this app encourages you to save over time so that when your annual subscriptions come due, you are not scrambling to try to figure out how you're going to pay for that. You've been saving all along. I also have savings goals, house and dog funds, some spending accounts, and my credit card payments. So I'm actually going to go through and show you how I do my monthly budgeting. First, I want to look at all of the recent transactions that I've had that I haven't classified yet within You Need a Budget. Since this app monitors every transaction, you do need to go in and just manually check that it is classifying things in the appropriate categories. So let's go in and see how many transactions I have to approve. I have 42 new transactions that I need to approve. Now, the app is pretty good at learning how you label things and automatically classifying some transactions. For example, right here, you'll see that my husband went to Trader Joe's, and that has been classified as groceries, so that is an appropriate classification. So I'm going to go in here. I have 42 transactions that are waiting to be approved. So I'm going to go through and classify each of these transactions, and let's see how long it takes me to go through 42 transactions.
언제나 편하게 기대도 돼 네가 원한다면 yeah. 내가 너의 곁에 영원히 옆에서 지켜줄게.
I don't know how I'm going to classify that expense. If my husband got to classify his Nordstrom purchases as a Japan expense, do I get to make my new headphones a Japan expense? Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. This was a personal thing. This was also me. Oh, and this Princess Oceanfront Resort. Don't know why. It looks like I was charged for one night for a reservation that I made for a few weeks from now, and actually I need to cancel this reservation. So this is one of the things I really like about having You Need a Budget. It really forces me to examine every single transaction, and when I identify something like this, I might have totally missed $127, but I noticed it now. I am reminded that I need to cancel this reservation, and I need to make sure that this money is refunded to me. So I'm gonna pop back into my reset template here, and I have my task section right here. So I'm gonna click that, cancel Ocean Hotel. Okay, I'm gonna set a date for that, no later than Tuesday. Okay, I'm gonna close that up, close up my Notion, and I'm back to here. I'm going to leave that without a category. That way it continues to stick out. It'll keep the website, and the app will keep reminding me that I have one transaction that has not been classified. So that is going to help me to remember and keep that front and center. Now let's go back to my actual budget. All right, starting with the essentials. The reason that I have my budget split up this way is because I want to make sure that no matter what, I'm covering my essentials. That's going to be things like my mortgage, my electricity, my gas bill, things like that. So let me open up my 2 essential categories, and we'll see what I'm classifying as essential. So for my mortgage, right here, you'll see that I need $59.69.14 for that mortgage. So it's underfunded by its entirety. So I'm going to click this, and You Need a Budget automatically fills that budget category until it's fully funded for the month. So now I have investments. I want to be putting in $1,400 for investments, and I have moved it up to the essentials portion of my budgeting over the last month or so. But because we are planning for this big Japan trip, we are putting off investments just for another month. And this is investments above and beyond our 401k and our Roth IRA. So these are additional investments that we would like to prioritize this year. My water bill, I need another $100 put away this month. My water bill, for some reason, I only get it every 3 months. Is this weird? I don't know if this is just like a Washington, D.C. area thing, but I need to save another $100, so I'm going to go ahead and fill that. My auto insurance is going to be $266, so I'm going to fill that. And HOA fees, I need another $110 to get me. So I have $221.11, which means that I am currently on track to save the total amount when it's due on April 1st. You can see that this app also has little color indicators of how you're doing. So I have this green mark and a check because I have fully met my goal for the month. You'll see that this amount is green with a full check. I have yellow here because I haven't fully funded this investment, and I made my own kind of assignment for how much I wanted to put in there, and right now I'm at yellow. For the water bill, you'll see here that I also have a green marker, but I have a little pie chart here because this isn't all the money that I need for my water bill, but I am green because I am on track to have saved enough money for the identified due date. Moving on here to my essentials that are due between the 15th and the 30th, I've already fully funded my electricity bill, my phone bill, my gas bill, my internet, my student loans, and the student loans has to change because my husband only has one student loan left. So I'm going to change this amount right here to reflect that. And I have already saved for the life insurance that is going to be due somewhere between the 15th and the 30th this month. So you can see that the concept here is that you're forward funding your life. So I have enough money right now to get me through the next 30 days of essential living expenses. Now let's see if I have enough to get me through my monthly subscriptions as well. I'm actually going to be canceling Trainwell, so I'm going to put 0 for that. And I'm going to go back to my notes here for Notion. Cancel Trainwell. Excellent. I have a system where whenever I get an annual subscription payment that's due, I go ahead and put it into this annual subscription section. So after I've used You Need a Budget for a full year, I should have fully captured everything that I only pay for once a year. So my Squarespace website fees were due, and so now I know how much I paid for that. Let me tell you exactly how much I paid for that. Okay. So every time I get a new annual subscription alert, hey, your annual payment is due for this thing. If I don't already have it in You Need a Budget, I put it in You Need a Budget. I also don't put in a little icon, so that tells me that this is a new entry, so I have to do something with it. So I'm gonna first edit this so that I have a little computer since it's for my website. I'm gonna hit OK, and I'm gonna change that to Squarespace website February because it is due in February. I'm gonna move this down to, actually it belongs there probably because I have them listed in the order that they're due. I'm gonna come here to the side and I'm gonna create a target. This is a yearly target since this is due once a year, and I know that I need $292.56. I know that I'm going to need it by February 14th of 2026. So I'm gonna save that. And the target for this month is to save $24.38. And if I do that, I will have $292.56 when this is due in February of next year. So I'm going to go ahead and fund that. So now the only thing that we haven't done yet is savings account, and that is how much spending money each individual has within my home. So for my husband, I assigned him $2,000 and he has just a little over $2,000 because he has some carryover from last month. I have $2,000 that was assigned to me as well. My son has $200. He also didn't use his $200 from last month, so now he has $400 over here. I've also assigned him $200. This is additional expenses that I buy for him, but I don't necessarily give to him directly. So if we're in a store and I buy some candy, or I might buy him a book every now and then, I charge it to this account just so that I know how much I'm spending on him, and that's the amount of money that he's actually spending on himself. It's his allowance plus those things that we buy for him. I've given us $250 for restaurants. That is not enough because we have company coming. Since my in-laws are coming to take care of my son while we're in Japan, I want to make sure to take them out for dinner a few times. So I'm going to up that to $600 this month. This buffer are for things that I forgot. They're going to be things that I just forget from time to time. And depending on who you ask, there should be 10 or 15% put into this buffer category. I'm going to move this buffer over to savings goals because really I would like to set up some sort of auto payment. So for Target, every month, let's say I want to put $200 in there every month just for incidentals, because sure enough, something is going to happen that you forgot, and I want to have that bit of buffer, and hopefully over time that buffer will grow. All right, so back to spending. I've assigned $2,000 and $2,000, $200 and $200, $600 and $1,500. Great. It looks like we have $877 left over. So now I get to decide where I'm going to put that money. I am going to park that money it should go into investments because we're behind. I wanted to put in $1,400 and I haven't put it in. But also, I want to put some money into the Japan fund because I am waiting for my tax refund and I think that it will be here. But right now, I literally have $0 in there. So let's put it in there for now. And if I get more money during the month, I could always move it around because I'll have a large number up here to be assigned, and then I'll put some money into the Japan savings and I'll fully fund this investment as well. So let me go into savings goals, add Japan 800, and I'm going to leave $77 up there to be assigned. That's how I do my budget every month. That was quite a heavy lift, but now we are done with budgeting for the month. The next chunk of things that I have to do is looking at and updating my schedule with scheduling the videos for my YouTube channel here. So I'm going to click on this. That takes me to my content planner, and I have monthly planning here. It was supposed to go up on Saturday, but it's actually going to go up on Monday. So I'm going to move that over here. And then I'm going to take a look at the videos that I plan to make versus the videos that I may have already recorded or might be working out better for my schedule. And I'm going to schedule out the videos for the rest of the month. All right, I have scheduled my videos for next month. I have to schedule things like cleaners and groomers. So if I click on this schedule, I am going to have up the schedule, and I really just try to deconflict whether or not the cleaners are going to come during a bad time. So on the 5th, that is probably fine for them to come. And on the 19th, my in-laws are going to be here by themselves, and I don't know if they are going to want cleaners to come by on that day. So let me check with them and then come right back.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Did my in-laws send me to voicemail? I'm going to leave them on the schedule for now, and then I am going to put a note for myself to check with them. I do have them scheduled. I do have the groomer scheduled for right before I leave to Japan, so that is done. Scheduling nails and haircut, that's because I try to overlap getting my nails done with when my son gets his haircut, since that happens every other week. I'm going to bring up the calendar and see what that looks like. I don't have any reservations for anything. I did get my nails done today, which is the 2nd, and that means that usually I would do them again on the 16th. So let me see what that week looks like for me. It looks like I have a waxing appointment right before that. So I am going to say that we should go around noon, hair and nails. And then that means that when I come back home next month, if my son gets a haircut on the 16th, that means that my in-laws won't have to take him to get his haircut because I'll be back by the 6th. That's 3 weeks later. All right, so I know that's happening one time during this period. That is scheduled. All right, I think I've scheduled everything that I have to schedule. Now it's time to review and complete some additional tasks that don't require me to leave my office. So this is the review section. First, I'm going to fill out this form that I've made for myself, and it's my monthly reflection form. And I actually fill out this form for all of my reflection cycles. I'm just going to put 2025 in the front there. This review was done on the 2nd. A summary of this time, mostly I'm just stressed out at work, but I've been really looking forward to my upcoming trip to Japan. This was a monthly review. What went well this month? I think that I was remiss in leaving the microphone too far away from me, but now we're back. That's my husband blending smoothies. I think what's gone well this month is my ability to roll with the punches, because the blender going off right now is just the least of the stressors that I've had this month. Here in the US, there has been quite a bit of activity around the federal government and government employees and a lot of organizations that I work with and work for. A lot of people have been uprooted. So there's just been a lot of chaos, and I have been able to actively work toward keeping myself grounded and trying not to let work stress permeate my life at home. And it's been really difficult, but I do think that I've been able to just pull up new coping mechanisms. Like when one thing isn't working, I'm like, all right, acknowledge, move on to the next thing. So I think flexible coping strategies. What lessons did I learn? Nothing is certain. Just a good reminder of that. Accomplishments. I got a new job, so I'm very excited about that. I am transitioning to the new job after I come back from Japan, so I'll be closing out and ensuring that the behavioral science lab that I manage, that the individual projects are moved over to places where they will have their new homes. My team is being dismantled, which is why I got a new position, but I actually got a position that I've been wanting for the last 4 or 5 years. So I'm very excited about this. If you have been with the channel for some time, you know that for the past year or so, I have been managing a behavioral science laboratory. I'm a behavioral scientist by training, and I haven't been having the best time managing people. I really like doing science, doing experiments, writing up results, the kind of sharing of lessons that I do on this channel. So management has not been great for me. And I'm glad that I'm transitioning over into a new position where I will be a professor. So I'm very excited about that. Accomplishments, I will say new job. Challenges has been work-life harmony. Hasn't been too much of that over the last month. I want to do more working out. I'm on a 75-day workout streak right now. And now that I have 75 days under my belt, I think it's a good time for me to transition back into the kind of regimen that I had before I moved to the DC area. I was part of a workout community in Boston where we lived before this, and here I had a really hard time. I fell off the wagon for working out. We had a loss in my family like over a year ago at this point. So I've been like resetting myself, but I think now that I have a solid 75-day streak under my belt, I am going to be moving back to doing some strenuous high intensity workout things. So I want to do more working out. I want to do less overthinking. I see that a lot in my channel when I am looking at how things perform and I'm thinking to myself, something did really well and I want to continue in that trajectory. Or sometimes I put a lot of work in and is not as successful as I would have hoped. So those things impact me moving forward. I want to do less overthinking and more just moving forward and continuing on at a steady pace. I am grateful for my husband this month. He has had a very hard time as well with layoffs, and we are a military family. So the military has been impacted by some of the recent decisions that have been made at a national level. So he's really stressed. He has a long commute and now a more dense commute since everyone in DC is coming into work. And so we're both having a really stressful time, but we've both been working at being kind to each other, extending grace to each other. And I'm just really grateful to have a battle buddy to do life with. So it's been really nice to have him around. I am stressed about Japan because I am starting to let go of the stressors at work and preparing myself for my new job. But I am like really excited and I've been planning for Japan for so long. And stay tuned for like the type A person's guide to vacation planning that's coming up like in the next week or so. But the amount of forethought that I've put into Japan also makes it like a kind of a high stakes situation. So I'm a little stressed about executing Japan, getting to Japan, and then just like the logistics of that. So I'm stressed about Japan. I'm looking forward to Japan and I'm stressed about Japan. If you've had a similar situation where you're both like excited and stressed about something, share what that is in the description box down below. I'd be really interested to know how people are managing those things. I'm going to hit submit here. And now that is going to submit out into the ether, part of my year of tracking that I'm doing this year. That has been submitted. And now I could go back to this reflection piece. All right, that is done. Let's review my personal tasks or outstanding tasks. So that link brings me here to my personal dashboard where we first started. Let's look at today's tasks. There's nothing that's due today. Let's look at all of my outstanding tasks. These are things that have a due date that are not today, potentially in the future, or potentially they're overdue. I do want to update my financial vision board, and I need a video idea for next week. So I think that is going to be due this week. Let's have it be due on Friday. Okay. I did add an ideas button to my dashboard. That's right here, video idea. So I'm going to click that as done. Today, I'm recording this YouTube video. That is done. I did do a YouTube digital file cleanup. I was trying to clean up all of my external hard drives and I did that last week, so that is done. I needed to get tickets for myself and my husband to come back from California. That was after spring break that we were planning a few weeks ago, but because of all of the changes that are happening in our jobs, we are not going to be going on spring break when we come back from Japan. My husband and I are going to Japan alone because our son is in high school and he's one of those kids that like he refuses to miss school for any reason. So we were going to come back from Japan, work for a week or two, and then take his spring break off and go on a family vacation. But we've decided not to do that since there's going to be a bunch of movement. My husband is also starting a new job, so there's just a lot of transition. And I need to register my kid for track and field, so let me do that right now. These school websites are not the most user-friendly websites. They remind me of like 1995 websites where like there's just blocks and blocks of text. It's just It feels really difficult for me to register my kid for track and field, but I'm gonna keep working at this. Online registration for athletes. I think I'm getting closer. All right, online registration. It seriously just cycled me back to the first thing that I clicked on. Okay, I think I found it. Excellent. While I was filling this out, I also noticed that my son's physical is going to be expiring in August, and I remembered that it was a big pain in the butt to try to get his physical during that time, since everyone is trying to get sports physicals. So in my list here, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna put in, it has to be done before August, so I'm just gonna put August 1st for that. I just refreshed the page and I have my other outstanding task items that I have from my monthly review. Those have come up here as well. So now I have all of the things that I need to be working on over the next month or so. Let's continue and head back to this reflection page. All right, my personal tasks have now been updated. Next, I'm gonna pull up my paper planner and see if I have any outstanding open tasks that need to be migrated over into my digital system. Since the beginning of the year, I've been using this Rollbon 2025 monthly journal. Come after me in the comment section if I said that wrong. People love to do that when I say Lloydstrom 1917. But let's check if I have any outstanding tasks in this bad boy. For my paper planner, I use the bullet journaling system. So I'm going through and identifying any outstanding tasks. Those would be open dots like this. And I either want to ensure that they have been completed or migrated over to a specific date for completion. So this is done. If these are work tasks, I'm gonna go into my work dashboard and put those in here. I like to look at my tasks based on this matrix, if they're high priority and high urgency, or alternatively, I like to look at them in this calendar based on when they're due. So since these are just going to be entered into my matrix as a starting point, I am just gonna put them in over here. I forwarded that. It's complete. I actually already have that here, so while I'm here, let me put in some due dates. Okay, let's go back to our reflection cycle here. And with that, the paper planner is reconciled. Next up is mail. My nemesis. I had to go through an entire year's worth of mail. I will leave that video linked up above. That was quite a treat for me one night to go through a year's worth of mail that I was avoiding. But now I try to do it at least every month. I don't do it as frequently as once a day or once a week even, and that's because a lot of my mail is speeding tickets. Something about the DC area, my husband and I keep racking up speeding tickets. So because I need to budget in for that, I just think it's easier to do it once a month. Let's see how quickly we can do this while I walk you through how I'm actually sorting through papers. So this is a invitation for a credit card, so that's trash. This has to do with our taxes, so that's going to go off to references. This is garbage. This is a letter from an institution, so I'm going to open it, check out what it is. Just saying that they updated my contact information. This is another credit card information. This is a bill, but I've paid all my bills electronically, so I don't need to open that. These are from our investment accounts, so I'll just take a look at that. All right, I have sorted through my mail. I put all of the garbage into a shred pile, and then I take that over to the shredder. I also have a small pile of references. This month it is the certificates of rabies vaccination for my 2 dogs and some supplemental information for our taxes, which we filed already. So that's going to go off into our filing system. Now I only have a stack of actionable mail. That's things that I actually need to do stuff for. I have a bill of excise tax from the state of Massachusetts. It's literally for a car that has not been registered there for 3 years. So I'm going to have to take some time to actually work through and see what we need to do about this. Now, before I tell you how many speeding tickets I have, leave it in the description box down below how many speeding tickets you think my husband and I received this month alone. February is the shortest month. That does not necessarily mean that we have less speeding tickets. So let me open them up. You tell me how much you think I have. down below. If you guessed 4, you are correct. 3 of them were in my car and 1 of them was for my husband. I don't know what to do about this. I mean, I feel like I'm not a speed demon. How fast was I going? Let's see. I was going 40 miles an hour on a 30. I don't even know. Like 30 seems like a weird speed limit. Another 42 on a 30, 42 on a 30. I wonder if these are all in the same location. Let's see. They are. Where is this location? Oh no, this one was in a different place. Where was my husband? Let's figure this out. He was speeding in DC proper. I didn't even know you could pick up speed in DC. The traffic is usually so bad. Okay, I'm gonna pay these guys and also figure out what the state of Massachusetts is doing. You know what's bad when you start typing the first few letters of the payment website and your browser automatically fills in this speed camera website. It says, would you like to pay for this citation only? Or do you wish to pay for all of your citations? All of them, please. Sorry, alrighty. All right, last one. I'm gonna have to legitimately call the state of Massachusetts to deal with this online bill. So that is also going on my to-do list. Open that up and let's hit it. All right, that is now on my to-do list and these are off to the file cabinet. All right, we have completed the mail. I am going to look at all of my weekly reviews. So this is my monthly review template, but I also have a weekly review template. Let me pop in there and see if there are any outstanding tasks for the week. Thankfully, there was nothing outstanding from last week. We are moving on to Family Day suggestions list. Now, if you've seen the overview of my complete life organization system, you know that I have a weekly family meeting template that we use to plan out our family days, which happen for us once a week. So I am going to go into this. Right. I saw this thing, Tea Around Town, where you do a tour of the Washington, D.C. area, and you also do like high tea. So I thought that was an interesting idea. I also want to do ice cream in Virginia. And my son suggested that we go down to Richmond one day because he wants to go to bookstores there, but we could also just make a day of it. Richmond, Virginia is like an hour and a half away. We can drive out there and do some activities. So Richmond, Virginia. These are just some ideas. And during our weekly meeting, we get together and decide what we're gonna do for the following weekend. So in case we ever run out of ideas, I wanted a location to dump those things in there. So now I have that. Let's head back to our reflection cycle where we have been this entire time and open up for the full page and continue on. Fabulous. Let's move on to reviewing our goals. And I have an entire section on that. So let's focus in this middle section here. I have don't forget. These are for tasks that have come out of our discussion so far, and I've already updated those into the task list. I also have individual life areas, and this is an opportunity for me to just check in with myself on where I am with keeping up with YouTube. I think I've been doing really well. I'm going to give myself a score of, just for this month, I think I'm at an 8 this month because my goal here is to do 3 videos a month, ideally 4, but 3 is my minimum. So I would say I'm about an 8. With health and fitness, I'm about a 7, which is up from like a 4 earlier at the end of last year. With my finances, I'm feeling good-ish. I'm going to go with 7 as well because I still don't have enough money for Japan, but I do know how much I'm expecting in my tax return, so I think high, but not as high as usual. My physical environment, that has been, I'm going to stick with the 7s here because my physical environment has been in a little bit of disarray because I've been planning and preparing for Japan. So I like to plan things out way ahead of schedule, including what I'm going to be packing and my clothes and doing some practice packing. So it hasn't been as neat and tidy as usual. Friends and family, I haven't hung out with any friends. I've really been preoccupied with what's happening at work, and I have been spending time with my family. I don't know where I would fall here. Let's just go with sevens for the whole thing. Fun and recreation. YouTube is fun and recreation, but if you take away YouTube from everything, probably like a 5, maybe even less. I'm gonna go with 4. I haven't gone out with friends. I haven't done anything just for fun. Personal growth. I have been studying Japanese pretty regularly and have really been enjoying it. So I am like nicely in my hobby era. So I'm gonna go with a 4. And my full-time job has been the bane of my existence. I'm gonna go with 2. My mood snapshot, I've been generally stressed, not really overwhelmed, but not really hopeful. I think stress is like the best way to document my mood. I think it might be nice. Actually, I'm going to go into my personal tasks and add a mood wheel to my monthly review. And I'm also going to add a synced task block to my monthly review. Just little improvements that I want to make to the system. Every time I do one of these reviews, I can do small tweaks so that it's easier or so that I have further optimized next month. All right, so that's in there now. I've already reflected and I have the photos to look back on. So way back when we started this monthly review, these are the photos that I identified as the photos for this month, and I seem to really be liking this pink sweater this month. All right, do you like how you spent your time this month? No, I was really miserable at work, and I enjoyed the time that I spent outside of work. So I would say yes and no. Do you like how you spend your time? Not at work, but yes. Is there a quote that works out for this week? Yes. And I would say the best revenge is to not be like them. All right, let's scroll down to my monthly goals section. This section pulls from my larger total goals page, and it just pulls in my monthly goals, and it also gives me a snapshot into my quarterly goals and next month's goals. So this month I had a goal of putting up 3 videos on YouTube, and I hit that goal. I also wanted to automate my finances, which for the most part I have. You Need a Budget is not going to be fully automated, and I want that level of involvement in my finances, but You Need a Budget could lull you into a false sense of security because you do your whole budget and you think you're done, but you actually haven't done anything other than organize your money. You haven't actually paid your bills, you haven't actually invested your money. All of those things happen outside of the app with your investment accounts or your bank accounts or your credit card company. So you actually need to set it up so that it's automatically happening. So this month I actually set it up so all of my credit cards get paid in full automatically. My investments are going into my investment account automatically. The only one I haven't set up was that additional $1,400, and I'm planning on setting that up after I get back from Japan. So for the most part, I've automated my finances, but next month I want to automate for the additional Roth IRA, and I'm going to automate my son's investment accounts as well. This month, my goal was to hit 150 pounds, and I hit 149 pounds. So I did hit that monthly goal. And I don't know what this February goal is. I think that was just a leftover from someone else. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. All right. Now, did these monthly goals help me get closer to my quarterly goals? Yes, my quarterly goals for quarter 1 are 9 videos on YouTube. I put in 3 videos last month, and I want to put in 3 videos next month. So I'm on track for that. I also want to lose 10 pounds this quarter. I have lost, I think, 6 pounds, so I have 4 more to go. I think that's going to be very challenging because I'm going to be on vacation for 3 weeks, and so that's going to make that difficult. Although I hear that with all the walking that you do in Japan, you might actually end up losing some weight, but I'm not ready to let go of that quarterly goal just yet. So I'm going to leave it at 10 pounds. For next month, I'm going to not have a weight loss goal. I am going to leave this 3 videos for next month still, even in my absence, and I want to automate those 2 things, and I want to give myself a month to do it. This is a section for me to put in any weekly goals that I'm going to be working on, anything that I want to do during the week to get myself toward those 3 videos. I don't think that there are any systems or habits that I need to put in place for those videos or automation for now. I think I'm giving myself grace and room to know that the next month is going to be a little weird because I'm going to be on vacation for half of the month. And then that first week of April is also going to be a little funky. So there's nothing I need to add to those weekly goals. What am I looking forward to? Clearly, Japan. Is there anything else that I want to write for myself in terms of this month? What's coming up? This is like my pep talk section. What advice do you have for me moving forward? What are your thoughts and opinions on this type of thorough monthly review? And do you want to see more videos like this, including an upcoming Q2 planning session? And what kind of videos would you like me to make while I'm in Japan? If you have any ideas, any thoughts, or any feedback on this video, I'd love to hear them down below. And if you're into personal productivity without sacrificing your mental health, consider subscribing to this channel.